I screamed at them for half an hour. I heard them call them some very inappropriate stuff. And I don't mean it. I only said it to be arrested. I love this guy. I love this Muslim. But I just want him to hear me. And sometimes the only way for somebody to be heard is to make a lot of noise. And I'll probably go home and I'll probably cry about this.
Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup.
This is Ashley with Status Coup.
On the ground.
In Philadelphia.
Flint, Michigan. East Palestine, Ohio. Please support the leading independent news outlet on the ground.
Covering what the corporate media covers up.
You fucking asshole. Suck my dick. Fuck you. Fuck you. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? All this fucking talk about arresting me?
He's on the sidewalk.
All this fucking talk about arresting me?
You're gonna push him on the sidewalk and arrest him? There's like 12
I stayed in the fucking street. You made a fucking cop pull me off.
Right.
I would still be there in the middle of the fucking street.
Maybe call 10 more.
They threatened to arrest us. And I said, go ahead and arrest me. And they chicken shitted out. They took a bunch of other people here, but they had one of their cops pull me off the road so that I wouldn't be arrested. I want to be arrested because these guys should know fucking Ahmed, right here, Ahmed should know fucking better. Trump put a Muslim ban on you people. Do you know that?
So for people who can't see, his shirt says, fuck you are on Indigenous land. So you showed up in support of Indigenous rights, which...
I showed up in support of the immigrants. Okay? First of all, I'm Native, so they don't belong on here. They don't belong. All this land is Native American land. It's sovereign land. They're selling our public lands now. So that they can, for profit. They're selling them for oil companies and profit organizations.
We were in Florida a couple of weeks ago. We've been covering alligator Alcatraz, and it's the same story down there as what you're saying right now, that, you know, the indigenous lands are being taken over, let's say, by these immigration detention centers and other things that you wouldn't want in your community to begin with. You especially would not want on an area that also includes, like, sacred indigenous lands.
The thing is, when we talk about our sovereign lands, this means there are sovereign lands. That means everybody should leave. But since that will never, ever going to happen, we have to continue to fight for the things we can fight. There's a land back fight, and it's actually working. The small pieces of land that Native Americans know is starting to be given back to them. One of the biggest fights has gone on for as long as Sturgis, when Sturgis became a city, that is Lakota land. And the Lakota people offered $50 billion for that land, and they refused to take it. And Lakota people are the poorest Native American nation in the country. So regardless of what you think of Lakota people, regardless of the problems they have, regardless of the fact that they're infested with drugs, regardless of the fact that they're infested with drugs that are killing them, they still are not willing to give up their land, even for $50 billion. And that tells me something, you know. I am not Lakota, but I practice one of their most sacred ceremonies. It's called Sundance, and I've been practicing it for 10 days. It's a pagan practice. We do flesh offerings in this dance. What we do is we dance from sunup to sundown for 4 days in a row. We're not allowed to eat food or drink because I have diabetes. I am allowed to eat sort of dry meats and things like that. No one has ever died from these practices, and I did this for 10 years. And every year, the pagan rite I did became more and more severe. I shouldn't be telling you because we don't tell this story because it sounds like bragging. I shouldn't be telling you the story because I want to impress you. That isn't what we do. This is personal to Lakota people and to people that do the Sundance.
Support this critically important on-the-ground reporting as a Status Coup member and get great perks. Become a member right here.
I would want to ask, for viewers of Status Coup who may not be as familiar with the land back movement, you said that there have been some successes. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that? Some of the things that...
Okay, it's hard for me to tell you a lot of things in particular because I have dementia. So what's happened is I used to be very smart.
You sound very smart still
Well,
to me.
I'm not as smart as I used to be. I used to be able to give you dates, time and verse, a lot of different tribal things that have been affected from a lot of different tribes. What they did with Lakota people was they killed their food source, which was bison. And if you look at documentaries, you will see mounds and mounds of buffalo that were killed. That was everything that was on the buffalo is used.
There are some very famous photos of that. There's some very famous photos of that.
Yes. And then with the Navajo, what they did was they drove off goats. And what they did was there's very little water in Navajo. They redirected their water to go to different places. Now, do you know anything about Standing Rock?
I know Jordan, one of our reporters, he was out there.
Standing Rock. And it was one of the most incredible things. There were 10,000 Native American people, or there were 10,000 people from all over the world. The Maori were here. Black Lives Matter was there. And we held our ground. The way that works was we believe in prayer. So the young kids that were overexcited and wanted to fight, they were willing to fight. There were rows and rows of elders that were behind them, were praying for them. So that didn't happen to anybody. Nobody got hurt. Lots and lots of people got arrested. They did use water cannons on people when it was 40 degrees. They shot rubber bullets at people. And one girl got shot in the arm, and her arm had to be amputated. They had people that were going through the camp that were yelling stuff, and they were not our people. And they were trying to cause a stir. They were trying to make people think that they were going to come in. They hacked all our phones, so that what happened was that our phones would they would lose their power, and you would get like maybe 20 texts of the same text until your phone was out of phone. They did evil things like this. They dropped stuff.
Do you feel like, with everything that you outlined, do you feel like this is happening again, and that's part of why you showed up in support of immigrant rights today, just to bring it back to the protest right now, because there are still people outside of Foley Square. So I would wonder if a lot of that has influenced why you're here today.
Well, let me explain why I'm here. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm an elder. And when I was younger, I did all this. And when I was younger, I did go to jail for these things. But I'm not supposed to do this. My job as an elder is to teach our young people love. And one of the major problems that happened to Native Americans in Canada and in the United States were the boarding schools. And the boarding schools created such trauma that the people who went through the boarding schools were so traumatized. When they went home, they couldn't tell their children they loved them. They weren't able to hug them. So the new movement with my elder people is we teach our people to love each other. We never leave the house. Never leave the house without telling our families that we love them. And I extend that to all people. My friend here is shocked to see me this way. He doesn't know me this way. He only knows me as a kind, loving person. And this is sort of, in some ways, my last stand. This is my last time to really get to, to be heard. And to be honest with you, I was perfectly willing to go to jail. I did everything I could except hit them. I screamed at them for half an hour. I heard them call them some very inappropriate stuff. And I don't mean it. I only said it to be arrested. I love this guy. I love this Muslim. But I just want him to hear me. And sometimes the only way for somebody to be heard is to make a lot of noise. And I'll probably go home and I'll probably cry about this. But that's something I have to live with. I have to live with the possibility that they're in pain. And that's not something that I'm comfortable with, to be honest.
Do you feel like getting arrested today would have helped you to be heard by some of these people?
I feel like getting arrested would have made me feel like I made to prove to myself that I made an effort. I've never been to jail. Who knows what that would have been like. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, and I got beat up every other day from black people. Therefore, I could have easily have been a racist. But what I saw was how they were treated by the police. The police in LA are harsh. I came to New York. I could not believe how kind the police were here. I could not believe it. I was able to talk to them. I was able to buy them coffee. There was a beat cop that I knew that if I got drunk, he would make sure I got home. And in LA, that would never happen, ever happen. I knew people in LA that I went to high school with. They wanted to arrest me for jaywalking. So, from what I'm saying, black people, I could have easily been a racist. I was a substance abuse counselor for 20 years, and I immediately saw that a profit organization is fixed because all they care about is the money. That's the bottom line. So they would do things like discharge somebody one day after they did 29 days and 30 days they discharged them. They would discharge that person and they would get another person in. So therefore they were getting paid twice. And I saw them discharge people. I saw them keep people too long. Substance abuse counselors. I saw them keep, and that really, if you keep somebody for too long, they sort of don't care, and so it causes relapse. Yeah.
So would you say that that's kind of a mirror to the things that you're seeing elsewhere? Is that kind of a mirror to some of the things that we're seeing elsewhere, that, there is profit coming from these detention centers?
Oh, absolutely. The profit, all the hospitals are the same way. I've been in the hospital for about 10 years, in and out of the hospital for the past 10 years. My poor wife, she married me, and that's what happened. And it was the same thing there. The nurses, they did not have enough people for the nurses. They didn't have enough help. The people that would clean me up and stuff, they were treated the worst. I know what I had to do, so I would buy them cakes and chocolate and candy. I knew exactly what to do, and honest to God, I became a favorite of every nurse that was with me. I mean, I did, and so many different things I did. The nurse there was a new nurse who would come in and couldn't stick the needle in right, and she would try it like 6 times, and she would be crying, and I would tell her, "Don't worry about it." And then what often happened was, in the night they would come in and sort of let off steam to me. They would, tell me what's going on, what's bothering them, and we would laugh, and all of this stuff was. And it's not because I'm good; it's because I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I was able to learn and change my attitude. I used to be a gang member. But I wasn't a good gang member. Believe me, the first time there was this threat of going to jail, I quit. I've been stabbed, I've been shot at, I've been jumped, all this stuff, and none of it stuck. I mean, I was a chicken, basically. I wasn't willing to go out and fight for it.
Maybe not a chicken. Maybe you clearly have a lot of empathy and humanity in you.
At that time, I didn't have empathy. At that time, everything was survival. So once again, that's why I say I was lucky.
So I would ask, as a final question to kind of like tie all of this stuff up for viewers of Status Coup. So again, like this is a protest in support of immigrant rights. You gave a lot of your backstory, and you're here. You're here supporting people. Why should people be coming out to support immigrant rights, even if they feel like it doesn't affect them, even if they feel disconnected to the issues right now? Why should people be coming out anyway?
Okay. People should be coming out because it's the current state now. They're arresting people indiscriminately. And oftentimes arresting people, and you can see it in the news, that they're arresting people that are citizens. They're in the separation of, they're arresting people and they're taking the people, and the people have kids at home. And they're not going and taking care of them. So these kids are being left alone. I grew up in L.A., so I have a lot of empathy for the people there, because when I was younger, those were really the people I hung out with. They were not Native people there when I was growing up. I identified mostly with the Mexican population. So my message is, even if you don't know someone, talk to someone that does, and just be willing to listen. I can't tell you to understand. I can't tell you to believe, but there's a possibility that you'll change if you listen. You can change on your own by hearing stories like this. I'm a crier. I'm really surprised. I didn't cry today because I will cry for anything. And my elders, and when I'm in circle with all my elders, I'm the only one that cries. And my elder says, that's my job, to cry. My job is to show people that they have that same kind of empathy inside of themselves. The other thing I was taught, no matter what we think, we have the ability to love people. We have more love in us. We are never going to run out of love. Never. It's impossible. I love my enemies. I love people that have treated me badly. And my friend back here, he can attest to that. He is the same way. We have a different style, but he's the same way as I am. One of the reasons we're attracted to each other is because we both possess that. And in his mind, not mine, but I could be wrong, but in his mind, I think he competes with me a little bit about loving people. Not me, you know. That doesn't mean anything to me. You should allow this gentleman here to say something, because, like I said, he knows me. He has my back regardless of you know, whatever's going on. But he has on our block. We sit out there. Every single person that walks by, he has had some. Has had some interaction with them. You know, they love him. They talk to him. He gives everybody a fist bump. He makes them cakes for people. He runs errands for people. All of these things that I can't do. I mean, I would probably do them if I could, but he does them. So in that way, he's absolutely, without a doubt, an inspiration to me.